Hey guys, welcome to Midwest Input. I'm Zach. And today I have with me the national champion of the 2013 race season, Mr. Troy Hovey. What's up, buddy?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just hanging out where it's warm, I guess.
Yeah, dude, this weather. I came up here and it was sleeting and I was slipping on the road and I don't know when it's gonna end.
Yeah, I was kind of nervous about it. I was kind of nervous about getting the car ready in time, so in a way I'm
Lucky.
Yeah.
Stubby's lucking out too. His car is not quite all the way there, but your car looks like it's almost done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty anal on some stuff. I mean, I could probably have it race ready in a day, but I'm getting old and lazy, and I just want to do a little bit at a time. So.
The car looks good. The wrap looks really good. I like this. Who did it for you?
Andy Kelly did it.
Where's he at?
It turned out sweet. He's up in Preston.
Yeah. I really like the color combinations. He thought about all that.
Yeah, Jake wanted to be on a car, and he's talked about it for a few years, and finally I convinced him, well, why don't you start designing something, and we'll see what happens. And then he got all excited. He said it's got to look cocky if he's gonna be on it. So I was like, well, then you pick the colors and you do everything for it then.
Yeah, it looks good. So I kind of want to get into this question. How did you come up with the nickname The Rocket? Where did that come from?
Oh boy. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure I know who I stole it off of, but we had a beastly van, and we wanted to go out and watch some practice up at Deer Creek, and they had late models up there, and there was one late model out there, and it just sounded mean as hell, and I can't remember who it was, tapped me on the shoulder, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like a Hovey motor, and I'm like, and it said Rocket Man on the back. I'm like, well, shit, I should be the Rocket Man too then, if that's what my motors sound like, and pretty sure it was like Justin Sass's car, I think, and then I had no clue who he was until I did a limited late model at Fountain City. I'm like, oh man, pretty sure I stole his nickname or something.
Well, all of a sudden it caught on like wildfire, and there for 3 years, a good 3 years, you really were the fucking Rocket Man, dude. You wanna talk about that 2013 season you had? Dude, that was a monster season for you.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how that was gonna work out. We had went down to Humboldt that year, me and Rob, and can't remember who all was with us, Wisher and stuff, and we started off okay down there, and we didn't do the best. I think we knocked the tail off of it in practice, and that was due to partying too much and not focusing on racing. I remember we got down there and we didn't want to stay in a hotel, so we parked on a gravel road down in Humboldt and just drank the first night before practice, about a mile away from the track inside the trailer. We brought Wisher out for breakfast, and that was embarrassing. So, and then we messed up the car right away, and I was like, all right, I can't be hungover doing this. And then we started to get a little more serious, and we come home, regrouped, went down to West Plains, and we got second out of like 130 cars there that next week, and then we came up here and
just started dominating.
Yeah, I mean, nobody had been in their cars yet or anything, so we already ran how many nights, and it was, I don't know, I felt like we were unbeatable there for a little while. And we came out and we won 3 in a row at Decorah, and then we went up to, I think, Deer Creek and won. I think we won the opener at Fountain City, and I don't know, everything just clicked that year. And then I got in a car accident, and so I wasn't able to work, and my buddy Rob and me lived together, and he's just smart as hell. Buck owned the car, all we did was, all we had to do is pretty much race. It was pretty easy when we didn't have to work, and we had tons of ambition, and I don't know.
Everything all clicked together?
It just clicked together. I mean, it was really fortunate that we were able to do it. I mean, by the end of the year, we were starting to get burnt out, and we had great people. Buck Bowensteiner was doing everything he could to make sure we were at the track, and Dallas Brussi was pitching in money for fuel, and Mark Succo was loaning me his truck and his trailer and fuel, and I mean, I was not even gonna do it because I'm really bad at starting off wanting to win something, and then my priorities start switching, and I just feel like I just want to do nothing for a little while. But they kept pushing me to keep doing it, and eventually I owe it all to them for getting me that championship, because without them pushing me, it would have never happened. Because I mean, I was starting to get bummed out with you go out looking like a hero winning, and then the haters start to get at you. I mean, when the fans stop cheering and then they start booing, and your friends start almost changing the way they look at you, and it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just let someone else win a night here or there? And
we were talking about this a little bit before we got the cameras rolling here, and we were talking about how you got started, in the hobby stock, and basically doing it all yourself out of your garage, no help, and then Buck came along and helped you out, and then you started winning, and like everybody was loving you. You got a lot of love coming your way, and then all of a sudden it starts going from cheers to booing. And how did that's got to affect a guy mentally after you go from like this huge crowd of people loving you to this huge crowd of people hating you for simply being what you're set out to do, is to be fast.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it really gets at you. I mean, nobody wants to see the same person win over and over, but I don't know. I get people that come with me sometimes that haven't been around racing much, and then they start to hate on someone winning, and it's like, you can't hate on them. I mean, you just got to get faster. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I didn't really know a whole lot about fans and stuff, but I remember when I was a kid, a lot of times my dad would start getting booed and stuff, and I don't know, sometimes you kind of like it. I mean, as long as you didn't throw someone in the wall to win, I mean, at least you're fast. But
well, I've had multiple conversations with drivers. Is like once you start getting booed, you're fast. Once the boos start coming, you're where you need to be. Like the people that love you are gonna support you, and then the people that are cheering for somebody else to win all the time, and now you're their competition.
Right. I don't know. I went from never winning for quite a while when I was younger, because my dad had won about everything, and I was just growing up, race, and then he passed away, and my mom knew how much money it cost, and she didn't want me around the racing. And she tried her hardest there for a while to just try and keep me from it, but at the funeral, a lot of people were talking, and they wanted me to race when I was older, and they said they'd help out. And I mean, eventually a lot of people did kick in, but it's just hard living up to that name when you're broke. I mean, I was working at a farm trying to build a race car, so all of them were junk, but I was still having fun.
Yeah, your beginnings, you started in the dirt bikes, and you just kind of moved your way from a two-man cruiser to Hornet to hobby stock, and then to Bmod, where you had all this big success. Do you remember, what do you take from all those earlier years of being broke, working, out of, not even in a garage, out of the driveway to get your car running to go to the racetrack? How do you look back and reflect on all that?
it makes you appreciate having good stuff nowadays. And I see a lot of people out there that are running junk, and a lot of people, make fun of them and hate on them and say they're not good and stuff. And I try to always pep talk someone if I see someone like that and try and give them some helpful hints to make it a little faster, because if we don't keep the sport growing,
it will die.
We're not even going to be able to go watch when we're older. So
Yeah.
I try not to hate on anyone. I can't say I've never hated on someone for winning a lot, because once you're on the top.
Yep. I'm in the same category. There was a time there where I was just like everybody else, and then you get into it more and you start talking to people like you, who's had a lot of success. You've had, arguably, you're one of the bigger names in our sports right now up around our area. But even talking to Stub Boyer, who's out there trying to do everything he can do on a limited budget, just had a kid. Those guys are the guys that really do make it go week in and week out.
Oh, yeah, that's true. One good thing about this sport is, you're not just limited to 4 years like a high school sport. You got your whole life to do it. So, if you're running junk or not good stuff now, you don't know where your career is going to go as a job, to where in 5-10 years you might be making 5 times the amount to where you can have good stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be...
Or somebody comes in and wants to be a part of it, and it's like, hey, I have this business, I got all this money, let's try to make a run at it.
Right. A lot of my sponsors are... It kind of looks impressive, and some of the people are always messaging, how do you pick up sponsors? A lot of my sponsors are just family, friends, or people that I've met from traveling that are just great people. But even to find someone nowadays that wants to help work on the car is just an amazing sponsor. And the shop where the car is at, it isn't even mine. This is my father-in-law, Dallas Brussey's. So just for him letting me work on the car here is freaking huge. So
yeah.
I remember working on them out at Bucks at the farm, and it was a dairy farm, and working on them under the tree and
down on gravel road, right?
Yeah,
gravel road house.
And getting eaten by them freaking horseflies working on a car. That sucked. But I don't know. It's just everyone helps so much nowadays that is on here that I couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
It gets boring working on a car by yourself too, but I don't have it like my dad back when I was a kid, where there were 10 people in the garage every night of the week. But
yeah,
I'm only home 2 days a week too, though.
Right, out on the road. That was when I was talking to my dad on one of the earlier episodes, talking about how there was B feature, C feature, D feature on a normal night. It's just crazy that, things are getting so expensive here that even just guys that just want to low budget guys, it's hard to get into it if you don't have people around you that want to keep doing it. And then you get married and you have kids and stuff, and you're lucky that your girlfriend loves it as much as you do. Are you guys married?
Nah, we're just engaged.
Yeah. When you guys getting married? Haven't set a date yet?
No, it's only paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is what it is. She's got a ring.
Yeah. How many kids you got?
I got one on the way, and I got Emma.
Yep. So you're kind of starting your own little race crew right now.
Right. I thought I had her going good there for a little while when she was little. I had her playing with cars, and I was home more. Now I'm gone all the time, so now the girls have gotten her into dolls and stuff. And she tried telling me the other night that girls don't race, and I'm like, well, that's not true. So last night we went over to Katie Stalls, and she was helping let her in the car, so I kept drilling it into her. Hey, she races. You can do it. And I'm like, and then afterwards I told Molly, I was like, I guess if she don't race, I don't have to pay for it for my whole life, I guess. So, it is what it is. If she don't want to, she don't want to. if later on in life she says she wants to, I mean, I'll back her 100% because
Yeah.
I didn't have that. So I mean, it would have been interesting to see what would have came about if my dad would have been alive to tell me some of the stuff that he did from all his experience. Because I mean,
Yeah.
he has way more wins than I'll probably ever have, and the only thing I remember when he was alive is I remember he was in the garage one night and he was telling me, I think they were talking about motors. I'm like, oh man, that sounds good, Dad. And I was only like 10, and he's like, when you get older, you just got to remember that brakes win races. And I'm like, well, then I'm like, what the hell is a brake, and what's that gonna do? And then when I got older, I mean, just running the brakes is so important with getting through traffic, and just you can make a not so great car pretty fair just off of adjusting the brakes and driving 2-footed. And I'll help some new people out that I'm like, well, how are you even running your feet in the car? I mean, I'm using 1 foot. I'm like, well, you cannot do that. I'm like, start driving to like your work in a grocery store using 2 foot.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't gonna go nowhere running with 1, but
So, how do you describe your driving style then?
I don't know. It depends on my mood, I guess. When I was younger, I thought I needed to get to the front right away, and I might have costed like bucks some money from tearing some stuff up. But especially when he kind of stepped back from it, and I started owning solely my own stuff. I became a lot more conservative, and sometimes I catch myself waiting too long. I'll be following a car around waiting for an opportunity, and I'm like, okay, why ain't I trying different lines? I'm just sitting here following this guy. Let's get going. And I catch myself in that a lot, unless it's like some big race on the line and I know I have to get up there fast. I'll get back into it, but I love race cars, but man, I hate body work. So if I can con someone else into working on the body or something, I mean, I'd drive a little harder. But
Well, you gave me a piece of advice when I went from the hobby stock to a stock car that stuck with me, and it was probably the best piece of advice that I ever got was when you're running the hobby stock, the suspension is not the same as a Bmod or a stock car, so you're always like letting off way into the corner before you take the corner. And I was struggling, and we were talking one time down in the pits, and you're like, dude, you just got to trust your car. You just got to trust what it's going to do. And from, I only had probably 7 races in that stock car, but after about the 4th or 5th night, then you told me that, and then I had 2 really good races where it just clicked.
Right.
So trusting your car is really important when you're going in, and trusting your setup. Rob, he helped you during that 2013 season. How big was he?
Well, I tell you what, I never had anything come loose or anything because I'd be out fucking off, and I'd come out in the morning and he's got frickin' every wheel bearing out of the car, and he's going around it, and he's got a checklist. Like, I don't know.
He was one hell of a mechanic.
Yeah, after that, I think he went on and he was working with doing maintenance and stuff with Roland Racing for a while, and so I mean, they obviously wouldn't have kept him around if he wasn't good, but I kind of missed having him around. Then he fell in love, and now he's out in Alta. I can't convince him to come back, I guess. So.
Oh, really? Is he still doing the racing thing, helping anybody?
I think he's working at a shop out there. But it's his life.
Yep.
Maybe someday I'll get him recruited back.
Why do you think you had so much success in the Bmod?
Well, when I went into Bmod, I knew nothing. First one I got, I didn't know anything about tire stagger. I didn't know anything about anything, and pretty much have just winged it for a while, and then I'd get bored and just read setup books and trial and error, and I don't know, I've had really good luck with probably the last 6 or so cars in Bmod that Just seems like I keep putting roughly the same setup in. It threw me for a curveball when they changed the rules after 2013, taking the spoiler off on the spring pull bar.
Yeah.
I went from winning all kinds of stuff to the next year. I mean, holy cow, we sucked the next year. And and it was a different car, and I was trying basically the same setup, and it was frustrating. And then we figured out what we were doing wrong, and ever since then we've been pretty fair. And then I've had great people, like Mike Flugo let me come down. I'd drive his A-Mod every once in a while, and him and his family are awesome. Scott Fellstool, he's let me come down and run some of his stuff, and I don't know, I try to help set up and help teach people stuff when I can. I mean, I get caught up sometimes. I mess myself up because I seem to jump out of BMODs and I'll switch to a different class. Then I'll tell someone about everything I do. And then I come back to BMOD, and then I'm having to battle them. And then I leave again, and I start telling other people what they need to do. And then I come back again, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to keep coming up with different stuff to make them fast, because I keep giving my damn secrets away to everybody, and it's like, whatever. I mean, they're going to figure it out eventually, but I don't know.
Well, you had the stock car there for a while. You tried that for 1 year. How'd that go?
We had a decent amount of top fives. We won the opener that year down at Indy. I don't know, after driving mods and doing, like, I hadn't done late models yet, but everything reacts so slow compared to what I was used to. I mean, some people love the stock car class, and I guess it's just a driver preference. I just didn't care for it that much. And I didn't want to learn how to make them super fast just because I wasn't that into driving them, so I kind of got back out of that. And then I think after that, I can't remember, I think I bought like a fleet of B-mods after that or something. I don't know. I was trying to own a couple cars there, and then Josh was having problems, and I let him jump in one of my other cars, and he claims that he was going to beat me that night, but the drive shaft and stuff came out, so I'm telling him that he was never going to. But I don't know. I'm never doing that again. I'm just going to stick to one car. Granted, we got this Hornet car in here, but
yeah, that's pretty cool. That's kind of like the community car you guys were saying.
Yeah,
whoever wants to jump in it.
I bought it for a Christmas present for Dallas, just because he's always been into racing his whole life, and he really didn't run a car, so I was like, well, we can get a Hornet car cheap, and you can run it. But now we got his boy Austin running it, and he's been pretty busy. He works on the road too, and he just bought a house and everything. So, but I'm pretty sure he's going to get a win in it this year, and I'd be happy to be a part of getting anyone their first win. Dang, little things are a lot more expensive than when I had them for $50 back in the day, but I don't know. If I could afford to have other people race for me, even if I don't race forever, and if I don't have kids that want to race, I'll probably own someone's car or something. But
so you're in it for life then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you got some pretty cool trophies there behind you. You want to talk about those?
Well, we got our national championship trophy.
Yeah, made out of stone.
Yeah, it's like a marble.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You love that thing, don't you?
Yeah. And then the other one we got is the Jessica Miller Memorial Race last year. In school, I always wanted to win a late model race. That's why last year, a couple years ago, we did the limited late model. We won in that, and I thought that was going to be, I don't know how you'd say it, my mark for winning the late model, and then and then
you jumping off point maybe.
Yeah, well, then I decided, I'm like, well, that was running a crate motor. I'm like, well, I got to run one that runs some power. So we bought, IMCA late model for my buddy out by South Dakota, and we realized how expensive they were, and I could have probably owned a house for what it cost, but
yeah,
we got one of the wins. I mean,
yeah.
It was, I don't know, it was kind of cool. We passed like Jeff Ike that night, and Tyler, he's really good. And
Drosty?
Bruning. Went
yeah.
to school with him. He's done it a lot longer in late models. I have no clue what I'm doing. I mean,
yeah.
I never even scaled that late model. I never really scale a lot of anything.
Really? You don't? You're not.
Ride heights is about all I do.
Yeah. Even in the Bmod, when you were winning all that time, you never scaled it that often?
We scaled it at the beginning of the year, but then that was about it. I mean, Buck and them would scale it every once in a while. I didn't.
Yeah. God damn, dude. That's impressive.
Yeah, the late model, I mean, it just wasn't reacting right. I kind of called Masterbuilt, and they're like, well, you got kind of a car that no one's running. And I'm like, well, so what should I do? And he's like, oh, you'll probably get there. And I'm like, all right. All right. So I started raising the car up, and finally we got it working pretty good. I mean, it only worked good at the small tracks. I tried going to Farley with it, and I knocked the deck off of it about twice that night, but I think we still ended up fourth. But it was a lot of work. I think everybody was getting sick of being there with me that night because we kept having to put the body back on. But we got that win, and I don't know, after that I was just like, I couldn't justify spending that much anymore.
Dude, that late model stuff, that ain't no joke. That's more expensive than an A-mod.
No, after we built the motor for it and everything, I mean, and all the little pieces, like just the cooler lines and everything, I mean, we had over $1,000 in braided lines on the car. I mean,
Jesus.
I think we had like $60,000 in that car, and it was like, all right, I could have owned a small house.
You could have, in a small town, you probably could have owned 4 of them, you know?
But, I mean, I kind of went a little extreme on some of the stuff that I could have probably bought used, but...
You could have had 2 brand new Bmods.
Yeah, I mean...
Full roller.
And for the money you lost on it, I couldn't hardly give the damn car away. I mean, I was trying to sell it, and I'm like, nobody is jumping on it, and I didn't even really want to sell it for what I did, but I didn't really want to do it again. I mean, I'd have probably stuck it out if like Decorah or West Union would have ran them. They're a rush to drive. Action built us a hell of a power plant in that thing, and she screamed. But I keep coming back to Bmods and stuff because I feel like that's the highest level. I don't know. Some people argue with me that stock car, but I figure I'll go with the fastest. And next, if I say fastest, though, someone's gonna say the mod lights are the fastest because that's what Josh will tell me or something. But I'm not saying. All right, I'm just gonna say that the Bmods are the best. All right, but I feel like that's the highest level I can be at in Decorah and West Union, and then you can travel to all the big races and have a chance to win some real money that actually matters. I mean. We're running for $250, $300 around here. I mean, you're basically just doing it for fun, and
that's what me and Jay got into talking about, that of what you guys actually get back, and it's a throw money out the window sport. It really is. You do it because you love it.
Yeah, I've only ever had money that mattered in a car for winning a couple times. We won like $6,000 down in Missouri, and then we won like $2,500 or something at Fountain City, and then we've knocked off, I don't know, like 4 Ironmans that were like $600 or something, but it doesn't even really cover it. I mean, I could go put new tires on every other week and waste, $400 or $500 in no time.
Yeah. You going after national points this year?
I'll probably never do that again. Maybe someday I'll travel to Ironman or something, but with truck driving over the road, I kind of get sick driving sometimes. I put in 4,000 miles a week, and when I get home, it's almost the last thing I want to drive, and that's why I keep coming back to race local. It's like I venture off to race somewhere else and think I need to go big, and then after a year, I'm like, all right, I'm not doing that again. And every time, I'm running Bmod this year, but who knows, freaking next year they might start a wingless sprint car somewhere, and I'm gonna think I need to run that. And
well, I really think they should bring the spring bar and the wing back to you guys. You guys were really, really fast, but one night over in Decorah, you guys were faster than the AMODs that were there.
Oh yeah, I don't think they're far off when it's slick. I mean, but
yeah.
We tried the AMOD deal for a little while, but when it was USRA, and then we tried running some of like the USMTS shows, and I wasn't that. None of us that were working on the car at that time were very fluent with 4-bar stuff, and I feel like if I would have been able to go back 5 years back then with that car, I think we could have done a lot more, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
We've had a good enough career to, it's fine.
Dude,
can't win them all.
You almost did, though. That 2013 season.
We started off strong. In 2016, we had a pretty fair year, too. And I almost caught myself thinking about we should go for it. And then I started looking at the points, and I was already down like 4 or 5 wins to some of them, and I'm like, all right, I'm not even getting back into this deal. I'm like, it was so stressful the last time. I mean, I wrecked my car for no reason trying to win the last national points. It was down to like 4 points between me, JC, Brad Smith, and I went down to Missouri and was racing, and I knew Brad was fast, JC was fast, but Brad was like unbeatable at the track we were at, and I didn't realize I had a lead, and the car wasn't good, and I drove myself right into the wall thinking I needed to go faster, and then I pulled in the pits, and I'm like, I gotta get back out there, and then I went back out there with a half-broke car and really KO'd it, and then all of a sudden they're like, this isn't the last race. We think it's the last race. We thought it was the last race, and national points is supposed to be over with. And they're like, no, now they're going to have another race down in Arkansas the next night. And I'm looking at a car that's destroyed, and I'm like, they're like, should we go and go over to Foster's and try and fix it? And at that, I mean, they had a shop, and they'd have let us probably come in there and fix it. And I was like, it is what it is. If they're going to go and beat me now, I was dumb enough that I wrecked my car tonight. Let's go home. And we stopped at a fireworks store, and we bought a bunch of fireworks, and we went back to the bar in Fort, and we just sat there waiting to see if one of them guys won down there and if we weren't going to win national points. And once we found out that they didn't, and it was a hell of a party at the bar. Pretty much. We're lighting fireworks off and everything. They probably had no idea what was going on in town there, but it was a good time.
Well, we usually do have a lot of good times, like at those specials and stuff. Mississippi Thunder, how many years in a row we go up to that Bmod special, and they were having the Bmod special, and it wasn't just a modified special, but go up there and drink beer and have fun for a whole week. And you got Timmy Hines going out into the fucking woods, dragging wood back for fires and burning tires, and there's a DJ up there, and it's a blast, man.
I mean, someday I might not run the weekly stuff, but I feel like I still need to support it. But the specials are where it's at. I mean, it's all about the fun. You get to the 3-day specials and stuff like that, and you get your family and friends there. You almost get sidetracked that you're supposed to be there for the race car, but it's all fun. It's all good.
There's a lot of partying going on up there.
Oh yeah, Fountain City. I mean, Bob, Tim, and them putting on that show up there for all of us is awesome. I mean, he didn't have to do it, but it works out.
Yeah, it's great. It's great up there.
I wish we could do it in Decorah, but I mean, half the town doesn't realize that the track's been there longer than them,
I know,
and they won't let it happen. West Union's been in the talks that they're gonna have one, and I hope they do, and I hope everybody would support it if they do. Just to have a special that's like in our backyard would be amazing. I seem like we never have the home field advantage like some of them have, but
yeah. The thing with Decorah is kind of really funny here. Was it last year or 2 years ago where they had like a big town meeting about trying to shut the racetrack down, and it's just been crazy here. You know what a guy should do is round up about 5 or 6 guys that want to invest, go right outside the city limits, build the exact same racetrack so you're outside the city limits and the city don't have no say over it, and pretty much just move the track from the inner city to the outer city.
Well, I wish we could find rich enough guys to just move the whole damn city and we just keep the same track.
Yeah.
We'd be having to call up Bill Gates or something.
Yeah. But no, Decorah's really great for most of the reason, but West Union, they're really getting it going about trying to get it bigger and bigger, and they're having that Tim Gable special this year, so that's really cool. So yeah, get out there and support it on Friday nights. Where else are you gonna race this year? Friday night at West Union, and then.
Yeah, we've never won a track points at West Union, so this year, just with work, I think it's gonna work out better to race Fridays. We got some stuff going on Saturdays. We're gonna race most of the Decorah races. I don't like bashing tracks, but I blow up motors at Cresco about every time, so I don't know how many times I'll be there, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about this too a little bit. Doing a track points at 2 different tracks, I don't think it's the way to go. Me personally, some people might like it, but
I feel like they're trying to force you to run there, but I don't know. I hope they succeed and they stay open, because I don't like seeing track shut down. It's just.
You know what I would like to see is they start up Decorah and then they do a full season at Cresco, like the way it was back in the day. You have Friday West Union, Saturday in Decorah, and then Sunday in Cresco.
Yeah, and I mean, if Decorah ran Saturdays, and some people want to do some stuff other than race, so they kind of switch it up to where that's on a Sunday. I think Sundays does not usually work for me, because I usually leave on Sundays. So if Decorah would have an off weekend where they weren't running and then open up Cresco to a Saturday, granted they're going to compete with Deer Creek, but you don't usually see the Deer Creek cars come down anyways. So I think that's what they should go towards. But
that's a hard call,
But I'm not a promoter, and they got their reasons for what they do, and I'm sure there's a downfall that I don't know about, so I can't say nothing on it. And
all we can hope is that
Chuck's probably sitting there going,
screaming at the screen.
Like, I'll tell you, I don't know.
Yeah, I just hope whatever they do, it works out. I really do. That's what I don't want. No track to fail either. Is I want more of them open. I want more people in the sport.
Right.
So Troy, you want to give a shout out to the sponsors that are helping you out this year?
Yeah, we got Jake's Roofing and Construction out of Decorah, Don Sales and Service, Anderson Auto Body, Bruce Hovey Custom Farming, Janet Hovey Pet Grooming, TK Trucking, Troy Hovey Trucking, Quality Lawn Care, that's Mike Flugel down in Davenport, Christie Power Washing, McCabe Power Washing, Two Guys a Fixin', he's one of my biggest ones, Sutton's Car Wash, Hovey LP Gas, Corner Bar in Decorah, Buttenberg Custom Fabrication, Scott Fellstill with Hams Oil, FBH Performance, and that should wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sitting down and talking to me, and dude, I hope Well, where can people find you at this year? Where are you gonna be running normally?
Mainly, I don't know, about everywhere. We'll make it. I don't know. This year, I think we're gonna swing down and do some Missouri stuff again, and
Yeah.
Kansas and
Yeah, dude,
wherever.
that'll be cool. But you're gonna go for points in West Union?
Yeah, we're gonna run for points in West Union this year, and I feel like they're getting a lot of cars, so I like racing against a bunch of people, and it only makes you better. So
So yeah, Hubman, he's been dominating there last couple of years. So it'll be fun watching you go back out there and try to.
I'll have to see if I can run with them.
So, but thanks for sitting down with me, and dude, I wish you all luck. I hope you're fast again, which you know you are all the time. So, thanks again for sitting down with me.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.